Good evening, council members. My name is Mike Mohill. In the primary election for the 43rd Assembly District, the Islamic Gulen Charter Schools Independent Expenditures PAC spent over $1.5 million on campaign mailers, TV commercials, and newspaper ads on behalf of candidate Laura Friedman. Islamic Gulen Charter Schools also are spending more money for the November 8th election. Conservatives generally support charter schools. Why is Laura Friedman, a far-left liberal, progressive Democrat from the East Coast,
so Mr. Mohill, let's pause the time for just a moment so we don't lose any time. And I do want to explain to you again, this is the same type of discussion that discussion of state offices are not appropriate. Criticism of current council members, that's go at us. But discussing something such as a state office and statewide issues as it relates to a particular candidate are not appropriate. So I'd like to swing you back into
Mrs. Friedman represents the city of Glendale, and the people of Glendale should know what her record is and who supports her. In this case, the radical Islamic charter schools called the Gulen schools.
If I may,
and they're radical,
Mr.
and
Mayor,
the public should know about them.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, if I may, and it's your discretion and your call, but I would say it does seem outside the scope. As a limited public forum and under the Brown Act, any speaker is entitled to come up and criticize the policies, programs, and procedures of the agency, and that includes of council members and actions that council members have taken. So I think, like as you already referenced, things that council members have done up here on the dais is certainly fair game. But it seems to me that other things that are not related to actions or words or taken by council members is outside the scope of what may be addressed to council. But again, I leave it to your discretion.
I'd like to talk about Mrs. Friedman's record. That's important, and that's what I'm going to talk about tonight as she seeks a higher office. The public should know she represents the city of Glendale, and she now wants to go further up the scale. And I believe the public should know her record. Who supports her? Who's behind the money? Isn't that important for the public to know?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council, the opportunity for people to speak, I will only add, is to again address the council on matters that pertain to the city and to actions that the city can take in its role as that the council can take it as council members. So my view is it's outside the scope of what is properly addressed before the council. We have from time to time let it go beyond just because we have these ongoing debates with Mr. Mohill, and I think we've just decided to throw up the white flag. Hold on, I'm speaking.
Okay.
We've just decided to throw up the white flag sometimes and just give him his 5 minutes and let it be done. But for the record, I should state, in many cases such as this, it is outside the scope of what is properly addressed before the council.
In all due respect, Mr. Garcia, if I'm not mistaken, last week, Mrs. Friedman brought up an issue called, let's have, was it Monday or Friday? What does that have to do with the city of Glendale's business? Why did she bring that up?
I'm not here to have a debate with Mr.
Okay, so it's good for her, but not for the public to talk about issues? That had nothing to do with the business of the city. But I'm talking about how her record affects the residents of Glendale and the surrounding community because she's seeking a higher office.
Okay. Here's the issue. You're not talking about her voting record on the city council.
Yes, I am.
If that's what you're saying, then we can permit that. It's so much easier if you just call us liars and cheaters.
No,
we don't have
I don't have to do that.
This little.
But it's important to know.
It's related.
It's related
to things that occur in the city.
Yes.
The Meatless Mondays was a discussion on events in the city.
It wasn't on my calendar and anybody else. All of a sudden, she wants to talk about a federal or a state issue, has nothing to do with the city of Glendale business.
So your comments are permitted.
Why did she talk about the roads and the sidewalks?
Your comments are permitted as long as they involve issues that we handle on the city or events occurring in the city of Glendale.
Right, okay. And I'm going to talk about schools because that affects us, does it not, Mr. Mayor?
let's go ahead and start the thing. Let's see how you craft your words,
Okay.
Mr. Mo.
Let me start again from the beginning, if I may.
Okay, out of fairness, we did interrupt your rhythm, so let's start again. But please, now, you understand what we're looking for.
We're talking about
There might
schools
be a
now.
way for you to get to where you want to go,
We're
but
talking about
not
schools.
the last path you took.
Absolutely, because after all, there is a partnership, am I not, between the schools and the city of Glendale and the school board. Okay, can I have my 5 minutes back, please? Thank you, Art. Good evening, Mayor Najarian and council members. My name is Mike Mohill. In the primary election for the 43rd Assembly District, the Islamic Gulen Charter Schools Independent Expenditures PAC spent over $1.5 million on campaign mailers, TV commercials, and newspaper ads on behalf of Glendale candidate Councilwoman Laura Friedman. Islamic Gulen Charter Schools are also spending more money for the November 8th election. Conservatives generally support charter schools. Why is Laura Friedman, a far-left progressive Democrat from the East Coast, so close and is backed by the Islamic Gulen Charter Schools?
But you're not bringing it back home, Mr. Mo.
I am. Mrs.
Bring it back
Friedman
home.
is of Jewish faith, as I am. Why would someone of the Jewish faith want to be associated with an individual like Imam Muhammad Fatullah Gulen, whose religion is intolerant to Judaism, gays, and women? Plus, Imam Muhammad Fatullah is Turkish, and that country denies and does not recognize the Armenian genocide.
Time out. You're not bringing it to anything that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city
I'm
council.
talking about charter schools, and charter schools are only a matter of a week or a year or whatever to be in Glendale, because this man
Well, you haven't.
This man promotes charter schools who she's getting her money from, $1.5 million.
Okay.
And it's
Hold
only
a
a
second.
matter of time. He has right now 26 schools.
How much time is remaining?
3:54.
He's been up there for 10 minutes. You might as well just let him go at this point.
I'm going to let you speak, but for the last time, it has to be something that is germane to the operation of the city or events occurring in the city.
It's about the schools.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mr.
Let me start that paragraph one more time from the beginning, if I may. Mrs. Friedman is of Jewish faith, as I am. Why would someone of the Jewish faith want to be associated with an individual like Imam Muhammad Fatullah Gulen, whose religion is intolerant to Judaism, gays, and women? Plus, Imam Muhammad Fatullah Gulen is Turkish, and that country denies and does not recognize the Armenian genocide, Jewish Holocaust, and does not have a very friendly relationship with the Jewish state of Israel, NATO nations, and the European Union nations today. Mohammed Gulen is a Turkish Islamist writer and preacher, and with a secret plan to bring a Sharia law to America. As the second largest chain of charter schools in the United States, Gulen Islamic schools bring in tens of millions of U.S. tax dollars every year. As of January 12, 2014, Islamic Gulen schools operate 139 schools throughout the country in 26 different states, which can be in Glendale tomorrow. Recently, LA Unified School Board member Scott M. Schumerson, who voted against the renewal of Magnolia Gulen charter schools, stated that they have a great educational program, but called them most secretive schools he had seen. Magnolia has consistently refused to show their records and their books. Magnolia was importing foreign teachers and other foreign school workers and their immediate family members. Magnolia brought in nearly 100 workers, almost all from Turkey. Anti-Sharia activist Pam Geller says Imam Fatullah Gulen has been dubbed the Turkish Khomeini. It has been widely reported for years that Gulen wants to restore the Islamic Caliphate in Turkey. That alone should make his charter schools in the United States a subject of law enforcement scrutiny, but it is not. Individuals who have broken with Fatullah Gulen characterize the Gulen Movement as an Islamic ultra-conservative secret society. And Fethullah Gulen himself, as an ideologue, Gulen tolerates no dissent. He is only interested in power and influence. Gulen dreams of a new age in which Islam will dominate and the West return to the ways of the Ottoman Empire. Imam Fethullah Gulen has become an expert at buying influence from politicians in Washington, D.C. and state capitals. Since 2008, the Islamic Gulen faith movement has secretly funded over 200 overseas trips for congressional lawmakers and staff. I'm certain if candidate Artie Kasakian knew that independent expenditure campaign money of any amount was coming from the KKK or the Nazi Party, he would denounce these two radical organizations and would not want his good name to be associated with these intolerant groups. Unlike Laura Friedman, who has not said one word, let me repeat myself, one word about the Islamic Gulen movement. Why is Imam Mohammed Gulen backing Laura Friedman? Folks, it's called money. Money is mother's milk of politics. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think you understand that it relates to schools, and Glendale has a school situation. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, as much as I can't believe I'm going to respond to that, whatever that was, I would suggest that Mr. Mohill go to the California Secretary of State's website, which lists all the money that goes into campaigns and into independent expenditures. And he can see that there's no money from this individual or from the schools he mentioned in my campaign, or as far as I know, and anyone supporting me, including the California Charter School Association, not one dime. So I think you should do that, Mr. Mohill, because your credibility and the credibility of the people you're supporting, I think, really depend on that. Thank you.
Thank you.